What makes a successful parent? I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach all over the world about parenting, good communication, how to build strong family bonds, child development, and education, all through the lens of the principle self-government. And in this video, we're talking about what it means to be a successful parent. In this video, we're going to be talking about what successful parenting looks like. I'm going to share a story with you from my life, and then we're going to help you come up with the recipe for successful parenting at your house. Many people have a list that they're trying to achieve when it comes to their version of successful parenting. I remember when I was young, well, a young mom that is, I guess, I really thought that a successful parent always had their children dressed just so, and that their children always had very good manners, their children were never dirty, and the children always were kind and loving, appreciated their parents, and that the parents would make sure that all of this stuff happened. I also thought a successful parent never had a dirty house. I thought that a successful parent always made very elaborate meals for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then I actually became a parent. And I recognized that all of those things were things on the outside of the parent, but they weren't things that were on the inside of the parent. Successful parenting is something that is from the inside out. We recognize it oftentimes on the outside, but it's really something that has happened, that is transformed somewhere down deep inside the heart of that parent. So I teach all about self-government. Self-government is being able to determine the cause and effect of any given situation and possessing a knowledge of your own behaviors so that you can control them. So that means that you understand cause and effect and you analyze yourself regularly. That is what a successful parent is. A person who goes through the process of reforming themselves again and again so that they can become the better version of themselves, the version that they know they ought to become. This is a process of heart change. Successful parenting is nothing more really than having a change of heart. Although having a change of heart can be a process. This is because we have habits, we have addictions, we have past experiences that will lead us down selfish paths. When you have a change of heart, what I mean is you're completely honest, you're humble, loving, charitable, all of those things that we learn make a really good person. And you decide you want them. No more excuses about your misbehaviors. Instead, you just acknowledge, I did that. That was wrong. I'm going to do something different. And you find the skill that you need for success. Many people struggle to find that recipe for becoming a successful parent because they do have these habits and they have a history of having done things, or maybe other people having done things in their presence. They don't even know what it really looks like to be that type of parent. What does it look like in the minute, they wonder? And can they do it when their spouse is not necessarily on the same page, they wonder? Well, the answer to question number 2 is yes, you can. It may take a little bit longer for your children to get all of the desired effects that you want them to, but you can change your heart all on your own. You don't have to have a spouse on the same page. What do you do to make this change within yourself, within your heart? Well, usually you need to start at the very basic, which is, what am I saying that's wrong? That's getting in the way, that's creating bad relationships, or maybe starting to make me take things personally. And then once you figure that out, you say, well, what am I going to say instead? And this is where a lot of people run into some trouble. They don't know what to say instead, so they keep going back to the old habit again and again. Well, this is where teaching self-government comes in. So all of the books, all of the trainings, they are all based around the idea that you can deliberately decide how you want to process something and what you want to say when you have a problem that needs to be solved. You don't have to go to an autopilot response. You can say, do I want that response? And if the answer is no, you can pick a new response for yourself. That is what a successful parent does. And there are responses that are definitely more productive than others. There is a way to parent your children so that they trust you more and they listen more to what you have to say. And I would like to share some of those ways to establish more trust in my video, 7 Strategies to Build Trust with Your Child. I'll see you there.